Time गजानन हे गजानन लंबोदर दातार गजानन हे गजानन लंबोदर दातार ध्यान धरत गणपति गिरिजासुत रिद्धि सिद्धि भरतार ध्यान धरत गणपति गिरिजासुत रिद्धि सिद्धि भरतार वक्रतुंड शोभित कर शर्त નથી રા ધ્યાન ખડે હમ સિમરી મંત્ર તિહારા હે શિવ શંકર મંત્ર જગાઓ હોવે ઘટા ઉજિયારા નમામિ શંકર નમામિ શંકર નમામિ શંકર નમામિ શંકર કૃપા કરો ત્રિપુરારી જય ભોલા બંધારી શિવર જય ભોલા બંધારી જય ભોલા બંધારી શિવર જય ભોલા બંધારી જય કૈલાશ પતિ શિવ શંકર જય કૈલાશ પતિ શિવ શંકર સર્વજનની જય ભોલા બંધારી
एक बार बोलो श्री गुरु महाराज की जय, बोले सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पहले गुरु के चरणों को पूर्ण आदर से मैं वंदना करता हूँ, क्योंकि केवल गुरु की कृपा से मानस चरित्र की कथाओं को मैं वर्णन कर सकता हूँ। First and foremost, I pay unreserved respects to the feet of my gurus. In the first instance, my Diksha Guru, Pandit Mahesh Maharaj, who has taught me everything that will sound good to the ear and is beneficial, and the transgressions and shortcomings are totally mine, with my human errors, human failures. But to him, I am thankful and give my eternal praise. I hasten to the feet of my Vidya Guru, Pandit Sriram Jadunaran Misra, whose input in my molding as a narrator of kathas, of Vyas, as a Pandit, was to no little measure. To him, too, I pay my unreserved respects. To Baba, Pandit Mahesh, Pandit Basiv Misra, who was the first acknowledged Dharmacharya of TNT, Trinidad and Tobago, who set up his ashram right here in these precincts. And Sadhwain and Sadhus, time after time, continued that great tradition of spirituality that can be found in these precincts. We give our praises and thanks to them. Of course, Uncle and Tanti, who currently runs the temple, it is their idea to host it on this day, Guru Purnima, which started yesterday, finishes at 4:29 TT time today. And in Guru Purnima, this day came about because the 17th incarnation of God in one chaukri. A chaukri equals 4.32 million years. It consists of Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug. And in that chaukri, God incarnates 24 times. His 17th incarnation, when we say incarnate, stool altar, where the world recognized him as the supreme. His 17th incarnation was Vyas Bhagwan, and Vyas was the great writer, the most prolific writer Sanatana Dharma has known. And there was a nice bond and relationship to carry on the rich traditions of Sanatana Dharma between himself and his students, who we refer to as Sut. And to commemorate this day of Guru-Chela relationship, Guru-disciple relationship, Guru Purnima came about on the full moon in the month of Ashar. And having recently received an actual murti of Baba, Tanti and Uncle decided that we should commemorate this day via puja, which we had before, and satsang. Before we move further, and I'll just be here for about an hour and a half and so forth. We'll be finished long before lunchtime. I wish to extend my blessings to the group on the dholak, Varunesh Singh, whom you all know in musical circles as Tigger. God's blessings to you, Tigger, for making the effort to come. My god brother Dantal Rick, who, as far as my mind and memory can stretch, is still the only sadhu that lives the life that I am acquainted with. God's blessings to you, Rick. And of course, my daughters singing Swasti, and on the keyboard, Kriya. God's blessings to you for making the effort. Last but by no means least, Vision 2 photo and video production, courtesy Krishna Maharaj and Kavita Ramcharitar, who is bringing you this production, who does all the technical work and is able to live stream. I take the opportunity to welcome all those who are on distant shores viewing. God's blessings to you on this day. And to you, the audience, who has made the effort to join with us. My mind fell on a person who was supposed to be in work, Pandit Brahman Yogi Narine Maharaj. Welcome, you Brahman Bonds. And I thought I saw Kaki walk in. My eyes are not on her now. Sitaram Kaks. God's blessing. I'll pay my respects after. God's blessings to you all. So we'll join in a short invocation, and all the talking will be done by Sant Tulsidas. I will just be translating as we go along, not to my whim and fancy, but to what the book says. in the course of our invocation, as we invite the blessings of the celestials, my last invocation will be dedicated to Bhagwan Shiva, because of course, we are in the ashram where one of the few consecrated Panchmukhi Shiv Murti is located. So we'll pay our obeisance there in our last invocation. So I ask you to bring the God of your liking and understanding to your mind, seeking out your blessings, that this little time that you spend together will be beneficial. Om Yam Brahma Vedanta Vedo Vadanti Param Pradhanam Purusham Tathanye Vishvodgate Karanam Ishwaram Va Tasmai Namo Vigna Vinashanaya Pratibham Satsabhayam Cha Vicharaksha Matam Shubham Luptam Sarvadaive Yogan Navibhutam Punaha Kuru Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Om Hanumanjani Sunur Vayuputro Mahabalaha Ramishtaha Phalgun Sakaha Pingaksho Amita Vikramaha Udadhi Kramanaschaiva Sita Shoka Vinashanaha Lakshmana Pranadata Cha Dasha Grivasya Darapaha Ramaya Rama Bhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha Bolo Shri Gajanan Swami Ki Jai Bolo Shri Saraswati Mata Ki Jai Bolo Shri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai Pavan Putra Hanuman Ki Jai Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai Siyar Ramchandra Ki Jai. So I crave your indulgence as we focus on Bhagwan Shiva. Just a house announcements, PDE 5731, you are blocking a driveway, kindly facilitate. PDE 5731. So I ask you to join as we offer this Ashtaka to Bhagwan Shiva. Namami Shamishana Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Swarupam Ajam Nirgunam Nirvikalpam Niriham Chirakasham Akashavasam Bhajayaham Chirakara Omkara Moolam Turiyam Girajnana Gotitamisham Girisham Karala Mahakala Kalam Kripalam Gunagar Sansara Param Natuham Tushaladrisam Kasha Gauram Gambhiram Manobhuta Koti Prabha Shri Shariram Spuran Maulikalolini Charu Ganga Lasad Bhala Balindu Kanthe Bhujanga Chalat Kundalam Shubhranetram Vishalam Prasannananam Nilakantham Dayalum Mrigari Shancharmam Varam Mundamalam Priyam Shankaram Sarvanatham Bhajami Prachandam Prakrishtam Pragalbham Paresham Akhandam Ajam Bhanukoti Prakasham Trashula Nira Mulanam Shulpanim Bhajeham Bhavani Patim Bhavagamyam Kalatita Kalyana Kalpantakari Sada Sajanananda Data Purari Chidananda Sandoha Moha Pahari Prasida Prasida Prabho Manmatari Nayavatu Manata Padara Vindam Bhajamti Haloke Pareva Nararam Natavat Sukam Shanti Santapanasham Prasida Prabho Sarvabhuta Rivasam Na Janami Yogam Japam Naiva Pujam Natoham Sada Sarvada Shambhutubhyam Jara Janmadhukaudyata Tapyamanam Prabho Pahiyapan Namami Shashambhu Bhaja Rama Bhaja Mana Rama Bhaja Mana Ram bhaja man baure Shri Krishna bhaja man Krishna bhaja man Krishna bhaja man baure. Bole Umapati Mahadev ki jai. During the course of Katha, we will touch on the meaning or part of the meaning of this Rudrashtaka. In the meantime, we sit back and listen to the words of Sant Tulsidas. I had known Baba up to the age of 11ish. All I knew about him was the aura. He commanded an aura. So much so that in those days in this country, when to wear a dhoti, people used to scoff and scorn and, deride you as you walk through. Not him. He would probably don his kurta and dhoti, take the train, go up to my parents, whose godfather he was, and sit and have conversation. And everyone, down to the train porter, the train line porters too, would look at him in awe. That was the aura of the person. And most, if not all, what we are going to say here, he was a shining example, the epitome of what a guru should be. As we hear in our opening Chaupai.
Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram
It must not escape the eye of the listener to appreciate how proficient in grammar Sant Tulsidas, the writer of this book, was. And the very first chaupai, the very first word in the very first chaupai of Ramayana is Bandau. If we look at the translation before, it will say, that will be present tense, that I bow. Tulsidas says, I bow to the dust on the feet of my guru. But Bandau is not present tense in Hindi. There are 12 tenses in Hindi. Bandau is the conditional tense. So really and truly, Tulsidas is not bestowing upon himself the authority to bow at Guru's feet. He says, Bandau, I seek the permission, conditional tense. If I were given the permission, then I exclaim and I proclaim that I bow at the feet of my Guru. This is the first word, the first chaupai in Ramayana, and that's where it's reaching already. Now, if we were now to use the conditional tense in the Sanatana Dharma, there are 4 conditionalities when you use that tense. So if we have to go there, Katha go finish, and we move from there. But that is the writing of Sant Tulsidas. Suffice it to say that he seeks permission. He says, Guru Pada Padma Paraga, I did not the feet of the Guru. I bow at the dust of the feet of my Guru. That is the humility. We are recognizing humility because greatness, the hallmark of greatness is humility. And the dust he's talking about is not a physical dust. This book is written in tongues, like most religious texts. The Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, they are written in tongues. Metaphors, they are the forte of their explanations. And The dust is really the teachings. Just as we walk and dust gathers on the foot, so too when a guru moves from temple to temple and moves within his own ashram, what gathers? His whole efforts are geared to gathering knowledge, not only to fortify himself and his intellectual capability, but to share and break it down piecemeal to his disciples and to his followers. So Tulsidas says, I bow to that knowledge of my guru. His guru was Nrsimha, or as we'll say in Gram Bhasha, Narasimha. And probably might just walk the road of a little history to catch up where the mindset of Sant Tulsidas Ji is. Tulsidas Ji was abandoned while within days of birth, because he was born into a constellation known as Mool. There are 27 constellations which all of us are born under. Mool carries the risk of that if a certain shanti, a certain nullifying puja is not done, the chances are that the father will perish within 8 years. And that has already been seen, unfortunately. So because of that, the parents were fearful of this child and they abandoned him on the roadside. And as fate and destiny would have it, along came the wise Guru Nrsimha. And he took the child, realized it was abandoned, adopted that child, schooled that child, and for our sake produced that great shining light known as Sant Tulsidas. Very proficient in grammar, and at the same time mixed the grammar with great philosophy. So Tulsidas says, I bow to that knowledge of the feet of my Guru, Guru Nrsimha. Just as we acknowledge the knowledge produced by all great gurus like Baba, because that knowledge gives us 4 benefits principally. Suruchi. That knowledge is beautiful. When we take an iota of that knowledge, imbibe and practice, that is beauty. Beauty because if you take it on a physical sense, Sevri, when Sri Ram met Sevri, she was old and wrinkled. And he used in his, that is God, in talking to her, he says, oh Bhamini. Bhamini means beautiful person. So it's not, beauty is not physical, you know. Beauty is the mannerisms, the demeanor of a person, the humility, the love, the absence of hate. That is the beauty. And knowledge from a guru brings out that in us, where the physical presence or the physical appearance goes into oblivion, and we treasure the company of such people who carry the teachings and the knowledge of Guru. So that's 1. 2, suhas. Suhas means fragrant. Obviously, dust is not fragrant. The knowledge is fragrant, because when we sit in satsang like we are here, when we gravitate to discussions that are about spirituality, we learn, hopefully, and then an occasion might arise where we can render some assistance, some inspiration by that which we have learned in satsang. And when we begin to speak, people gather around, they gravitate. So just as, you know, we take you get something fragrant and you take a deep breath, so too knowledge is fragrant. We take a deep breath, we go to the source of that knowledge, all stemming from Guru. Saras. A guru, saras means the extract. We don't have to necessarily peruse the Mahabharata, the Shastras, the Vedas, the Upanishads and so forth. It's a good thing to do, but in reality it doesn't pan out that way. But we depend on the guru to go visit these books and get the extract from it, and so bring it to us in a palatable manner where we can take and put into practice in our prayer room, in our prayer area at home. Now, somehow or the other, there's a disconnect between what we hear in satsang and what we learn and pray. When there should be a great connect as we recite our mantras, stutis, stotras, etc. If it's in a small amount which we remember as we go along or pray, then that small amount is supposed to reflect a certain facet of what our character build should be, and that is the purpose of listening to a guru who has extracted, passing on to us, and making it useful to us. So, you know, sometimes we look at movies, Indian movies, and you seem to think that, well, there's only one Murti we are seeing there, And maybe we don't have to worship everybody else. We could just reduce it. It's easier to worship one God, inform now. And so many times we inform ourselves through movies, which is just drama. But it's one God, infinite, manifest in finite forms. That's why we have Ganesh. We want to understand what is the knowledge base of God. We have Saraswati Mata. We want to understand what is the learning power of God. We have Hanuman. What is resolve and mental and physical strength? So these finite parts of God, part of the same Supreme, but for our better understanding. And we can never really and truly say, well, we have it under total control. Satsang provides that, because you ask most people, yes, Baba, I'll do Ganesh Puja, yes, Baba, I'll do Saraswati Puja, yes, Baba, I'll do this. Then we reach up, we take it a notch higher. Does the Adityas have a place in worship? 12 Adityas? The 12 projections of Vishnu Narine, who is pivotal to enlightenment, is he part of your worship? Are the 11 Rudras, are their names mentioned, or even in group, as a group, are their names mentioned in a daily prayer? Or the 8 Vasus, are they there? Or the 2 Ashwini Kumars, or Daksh Prajapati, are they there in your prayer structure? Or Dev Devata, who exists between earth and heaven? Or Vayu, the father of Hanuman, are they in our prayer structure? Are those finite parts of God in our prayer structure, so that we will better conceptualize, or attempt to conceptualize who is the Supreme? If these things are absent, we need to take a little stock inventory and start to put these things in place. If we profess to be spiritual and have a better understanding of God, these have to be in prayer. But so great is a guru. What about the sadhyas? Have we ever heard about the sadhyas? What is their role? Daksh Prajapati, whose name I just called here, one of his daughters was Sadhya. And her hand was given to Dharmaraj. And from that union came 12 sons who we know as the 12 sadhyas. And apart from all their other portfolio, sometimes we have the attendants of Shiva. They are one group of the attendants of Shiva. And they live in Ganparvat, any very close to Kailash, they reside there. In that 12 sadhyas, we have Apan and Pran, those who in satsang realize that I have just mentioned 2 of the 5 A's, A-I-R-S. And so you come to Baba, you go to a guru, and there's ailment, there's lower GI problems, or there might be respiratory problems. So Baba don't only just give you a general mantra, he hones in on the Devi or Devta sitting on that part of the body. And so your mantra or your Havan begins to be recited or performed in Havan. And so alleviation of the pain or distress is lessened or disappears. So the sadhyas have, in one round of creation, Vibhu, which is another name of Brahma, he was one of the sadhyas. If you want to remain a dollar in life, leave Brahma out of your worship. Because Brahma is the God of creation, creativity. You in a work environment, we can't be doing the same thing over and over. We have to learn ways to expedite processes. And that creativity comes from the blessings of Brahma, by extension the sadhyas. So this is just an inkling of one category of gods whose prayer should be in the mix of things on a daily basis. To what? To remember and to fortify. Right now, most people, and I think they have it pat down as we see, you have ducks in your prayer structure. And so having mentioned the grandfather of the sadhyas, that counts for a little merit. And the father of the sadhyas, yes, you do it every Saturday. Apart from Hanumanji worship, according to Bar worship, according to day worship, Yamraj, who incarnates as Dharmaraj, the god of Dharma, he prevails on a Saturday. So Saturday, get a little prayer together. So you're covering the sadhyas which you just speak about until you sit by the Guru's feet and you get the whole gamut and expand your prayer structure. That could suffice in the meantime. So this is the third quality of the benefit of a guru's knowledge. He gives you the rest of the extract of Sanatana Dharma. And the fourth one, Anurag. Guru teaches you that to do things, not looking for rewards. Rag means attachment, anu means without. When we lend a helping hand to someone, let it fly. Then Guru teachings is coming across, we're not looking for anything in return. Tulsidas says, Amaya Murimaya Churanacharu, Shamanasakal Bhava Ruja Parivaru. Even a small amount of practicing what Guru has taught is as powerful as a small dose of medicine that cures. You have a little fever and you take 2 Panadol, and the fever might disappear. Small thing like the Panadol, take care of a big hefty person and their affliction and pain. So too is the power of Guru's knowledge. We hear further in Chaupai.
Jai Jai Rama, Shri Rama Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Rama Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama.
Sukrita Shambhutana Vima Vibhuti Manjula Mangala Moda Prasuti.
Ram 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 Bolo, Ram Ram
Janamana Manju Mukara Malarani Yeti Laka Guna Gana Vashakarani.
Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama.
Sukrita Shambhutana Vimala Vibhuti. Tulsidas compares this knowledge from a guru to the Vibhuti. Bhagwan Shiva smears himself with ash. And which ash, if we go down that quarter, it will take us another 15 minutes. Suffice to say, whenever we sit in satsang, that has a deep meaning, a profound meaning. For the time being, that ash of Bhagwan Shiva, when he performs his Tandava dance, when Bhagwan Shiva becomes very ecstatic and joyful, either through the medium of his devotees or through the benefits of the holy and sages and saints who stand on his behalf. When that happens, he dances the Tandava dance, and at that point in time, the dust of the vibhuti falls off his skin, and it is said that the devatas crave for a bit of that vibhuti, because that vibhuti gives them, lends immortality. They become unconquerable. That is the devatas. Tulsidas says, so too are the teachings of Guru. If we take of it, and he says, Kiya tilak gungan vashakarani. When you're doing tilak is chandana. Where you put chandana in your toe? No, you put chandana on the forehead. And put the teachings of Guru like chandan to the forehead. In other words, take note of it and execute as the case may be. And that will give us immortality. Now, that seems like pie in the sky. We have the ability to get immortality from Guru's teachings. Well, yes. Because one of the main reasons why we can't get immortality is we put ourselves on shackles on ourselves. Nobody will do it, We put ourselves under constraints and restraints, and we can't do this, and we can't do that, and Baba, we can't come to satsang, and we, for, multifarious reasons, which are really inconsequential. That is the shackles. That is the, if we take off those things, then that becomes, then the immortality steps in. But too many times is about me and I. The great Guru Agastya, while he was in the forest, Shri Ram, through Sutikshan, met Guru Agastya. And he asked Guru Agastya, where can I, Sita Devi and Lakshman take up residence? Because Shri Ram Chandraji, on behalf of worldly thinking, that in a Guru ashram, that is the best place to be. A man like Agastya, who had Siddhi, Agastya and Bharadwaj are two famous sages in Sanatana Dharma who had Siddhi, who could have manifested things. So Shri Ram, thinking like the world, for the world, says, well, this is the best place. So he asks the Guru, he says, can I, in my 14-year stay, remain here? And what did Agastya do? I mean, if God say, you want to come and stay by your house or stay in this temple, everything cut loose. Yeah, you come and stay here. But the magnanimity of Agastya said, no, I direct you to Panchavati. Because if you stay here, Ravan cannot enter here. And then how will Sita be the bait for Ravan's destruction? So Agastya had to sacrifice his own personal ambitions and likeness and love and attachment. For the sake of what? He took off those chains for self-aggrandizement and self-pleasure. Let the world benefit. And so he directed Sri Ram Chandraji lovingly and respectfully to take up his residence in Panchavati. So too, it's not only about hearing what Agastya do and what Bharadwaj, we have to practice it too. Sometimes we have to give up things for the greater good. And in that way, the things that, attachment is chaining up, we gain immortality. Janamana manju mukurmala harini kiyeti lakagunam ganvashakari. Tulsidas says Guru's teachings and Guru's knowledge can also build character. I think Krishnatava Fala writing in Focus, he touched on that. Some 2x4 pundit. Anyway, don't want to be redundant, but one of those qualities to pay attention to is what you sometimes call nishpaksh or uprati. One of the important ingredients of character build is to be impartial. Life is not about a popularity contest, Life is about pronouncing when something is right and when something is wrong. And we don't have to be aggressive with it and hurt people's feelings. Sometimes it's just one statement, this is my position in it. If you choose to do otherwise, so be it. You don't tote and hold vendetta and vengeance because you stood on the path of impartiality. No. That is a test of character. And so, Bhagwan, Tulsidas says, by going to the feet of Guru, by acknowledging his teachings, we can have or nurture that quality of impartiality. We hear further in Chaupai.
Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram
Shri Guru Pada Nakhamani Gana Jyoti Sumirat Devya Drishti Yahoti Dalana Mohatama So Suprakasu Bari Bhagya Pura Avahi Jasu Paranaka Manigana Jyoti. Tulsidas Ji is still on the feet of the Guru. That's a sign of humility. So he says, Looking at Guru's feet, I see 10 nails. And those are really like 10 lights to me. That at the feet of a Guru, metaphorically speaking, the 10 lights reside. And the 10 lights are the 4 Vedas, the original books of knowledge, and the 6 darshanas, the 6 whereby like for instance, you have philosophies like Samkhya philosophy. The word is not Sankhya, it's Samkhya. That is one of the darshanas. And these 6 darshanas give light to what the knowledge of the Vedas are. So, Tulsidasi says, when I look at the feet of my Guru, I see those 10 lights shining. And it is important for manifold reasons, because among those physical toes, there's a great toe, the big toe. He says that to me, the big toes are like Surya Narine. The biggest light you could get is Surya Narine. Even self when the moon is up, or the stars are up, or a light of fire, they all provide light, but not like how the sun provides light. So today we are in light, sunlight. When we get darkness, some other country has sunlight. So those are the 2 lights. One Surya Narine, Tulsidasi says that I see that. And the reason he points to the big toe, he says that if Surya Narine graces you in life, if Guru teaches you about the importance of Surya Narine worship, and you are graced with that knowledge, then you understand one thing, that in a classroom, whether it's St. Joseph Convent, Hillview College, are calling the good schools first now. Purnima, I see Bonham, I see rewatch me, you know. Bon, you too, I can't remember what school you went to. But at the end of the day, when you go to a school, what does it do? Look, the term just passed. You have the lesson, and then they give you an end of term test. Surya Narine's grace through Guru will tell you that life is not that classroom. Life is a classroom where you get the test first, and then you get the teaching. When you take gold, gold doesn't become gold like that, you know. You get the gold in the mine, and you have to put it under tremendous heat, and then you get the product known as gold. So sometimes in life you stumble. Why this had to happen? Why that to happen? It had to happen because God just tests you. And what you will learn from that is what is important. And this is the grace of Guru. Guru tells you, this is when we worship Surya Narine, these are some of the things that should be running through the mind. Dalana moha tamaso suprakasu. Apart from that, Surya Narine worship will help to dispel all darkness. It doesn't mean that, the room will get light up so. No, the darkness of ignorance. So we have holidays here now. Now you just get wedding season. Baba, fix a date for the wedding, because now everybody on holidays. Well, I thought the gods had to attend, not people. It's the presence of the gods when you do bhava, Agni Devta. He's supposed to consecrate that marriage. When Bhagwan Ganesh is invoked at the beginning on Matikor Day and Prithvi Mata, that is who's supposed to be present. But, we like to do things to suit ourselves. Well, I refer you to the very Ramayana. I quote, Sudin Sunakat Sughari Suhai, Bega Veda Vidhi Lagan Dharai. Shiv Baba, when he was going to marry Parvati Mata, what did he do? Sudin, he called all the rishis and munis and the pandits. He says, give me Sudin Sunakat Sughari Suhai. Give me a proper date, a proper month, a proper time to perform Kanyadan, and I will abide by that declaration. And so I'll be betrothed to Parvati Mata. But now, we want to do things our style. So that is the depth of ignorance. Yaha Shastra Vidhimusitrya Vartate Kam Karataha Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti Nasukham Param Gatim. Krishna turned around and tell Arjun, he said, if you want to do as you please, then not in here or the hereafter. So Arjun says, well, what shall I be do? Yaha Shastra Vidhimusitrya. Follow the injunctions of our scriptures. There are reasons. It's not about, religion is not to make life difficult, but they help us to circumvent a lot of obstacles. And if we can't circumvent, God will lift us and we'll hurdle those obstacles. That is why the Shastras wrote these laws when to marry, when to consecrate marriage, etc., etc. Surjarine's grace, which comes from Guru's enlightenment, will help us to sidestep these pitfalls. And then we have our next one. We've gone from wedding to funeral. If you read the mantra in funeral, the most important offering is pindadan, the pinda. That is food for whoever, as the case may be. But what we do is we go home and carry the cremation bank, we offer the pinda, and what we do? We take the food, pitch him east, pitch him west, pitch him north, pitch him south. That is food, you're doing that. And you expect a honky-dory hereafter for the person who gone down there. That is the depth of ignorance. And that can only be dispelled if we had the favor of a Guru, who would have taught us the very deities to worship and to adore that will help to dispel that darkness of ignorance. We hear in the upcoming Chaupai.
प्रगत जो जही खानिक गुप्त प्रगत जो जही खानिक
When we honor Guru, the eyes, you realize, open. This is not the real eye, you know. We see these eyes, we form opinions without asking questions, and then that venom we spew, we mine it, and we begin to spew venom, all because of deceit of what the eyes saw. The real eyes are Kagbhushundi told Garudin Uttarkan, Jnana Virag, Nayan Urgari. The real eyes are the eyes of spiritual wisdom, Jnana and Virag. Learn to be detached from a situation. When we detach from a situation, we can be clinical and beneficial. So Guru's grace will help you to don't look at things so. Look at it this way. Look at it through the eyes of spiritual wisdom. Look at it through detachment. And when that happens, Ugarahi Vimala Vilochanaki, Mitahi Dosha Dukkha Bhavarajaniki, then things like dosh, which is, want to blame this one and blame that one. When you blame somebody, right, is you do that, what happened? One finger going so, one God watching what you're saying, and the other three pointing back at you, is really you at fault. So, when we look at a situation or situations with these types of eyes, blame goes dukh, which is misery. We invite a lot of pain. People say, Baba, it had to happen, so it's karma mein foot. And Sri Ram told Hanuman, Hasi bole Raghuvansh Kumara, Vidikar leka kumetanahara, soi gusai jo Vidikat cheki, sakai kutari, take do teki, ride down the road, Ramayana tell you, it's not like that had to happen, so man is the designer of his destiny. We can change things. We can, if it had to happen so through karma, then our fall will become just a stumble. So Tulsidas says that save ourselves from this kind of unnecessary, uninvited pain. Follow the teachings of Guru. And when we do that, Sujahi Rama Charitamani Manik, then we will see the real gems of life. And those gems are not buried in the northern range, or the Andes, or the Rockies, It's buried in this text known as Manas Charitra or Ramayana. All the recipes and answers, they are here in this text. And if we listen to satsang from time to time, we will begin to realize that that is really so. That God put us down here, but He didn't leave us stranded. He left the recipes here. And sometimes things that are unseen, we might have a challenge, and by the end of, we worried from Monday to Thursday about the challenge, and lo and behold, Friday comes, and the challenge disappears into thin air. We have to make concerted efforts. You think Ramayana will take a 2-foot and walk on between St. Joseph or San Francisco? No. We have to make the concerted effort to get within proximity of the Ramayana. And when we do that, then things that are unseen will happen. How much times Hanuman bust his chest and opened it? Remember when everybody had returned, when Sri Ram and Lakshmana and Sita returned safely back to Ayodhya, and he was enthroned king, the Vedas, etc., everybody came and they got gifts, and they gave Hanuman the pearl necklace, and what do? He bite it up. They asked him, why you bite it up for? Why you desecrating it for? He said, do you think that's important to me? You think that I have Ram and Sita in it? They say, well, you're a real hypocrite, right? What evidence you have of that? And he opened his chest, and we know you saw the Ram and the Sita there. But it happened a second time too. Ramayana didn't state it. So it shows you, Gupta Pragat, that which is unseen, comes through Guru's grace. So Guru put it around and say, boy, it is not only one time. Don't ever say that to the Singhasan again. Come. When Sita Mata, her ring, when Sri Ram sent his ring to Sita Mata when she was in Ashok Vatika in captivity by Ravan, right? That was a memento, a token from Ram by messenger Hanuman to Sita that I am on my way, all will be well. But she didn't know who this was. And so she said, give me a little evidence now who you are, what you do. He opened his chest, and she saw the Sita and the Ram. Sujahi Rama Charit Manimanik, Gupta Pragata Jahajoji Kanik, that which they even come to light, that which is unseen will come to light when we get close to this text. It says that when Sita, and you all know that from Satsang, let me quickly hush it through. When Sita and Ram was in the forest, and Lakshman, right? Sri Ram wanted to point a little lesson to Sita in the absence of Lakshman. So he told Lakshman, go and get some firewood now. So Lakshman gone. So there's only Sita and Ram there. And he says, Sunahu Priya Vrat Rucharik Sushila, Maika Chukarab Lalit Naralila. He says, I am going to play the part of a man. So I want you now, you are too pure. Go into the fire, and from that will exit the Maya. Well, if that happened, if Sita and Ram alone were there, how come we know? Sujahi Rama Charit Manimanik Gupta Pragata Jajoik, that which is not written when you to go to Guru, when Sant Tulsidas went before his Guru. And he went before Bhagwan Shiva, he saw everything like a video. So that which nobody else, what Lakshman didn't see, he saw it and was able to pen it. That is the power of this book. Whatever the challenge, it don't have to be a religious challenge, whatever the challenge, inside here we'll get the references, the know-how and the wherewithal to handle those challenges. And Gupta Pragata Jahajoik Jehi Kanik, not, you will only, this book is you will not only get the secret things, it's a treasure. And we were doing in the study, Namami Shamishan and Nirvana Rupam. There are 4 states of consciousness. You're either awakened, you're sleeping, or, you're in deep sleep. You feel, well, look, I was up in top of El Tukuch mountain last night, but there are only snatches and sketches of the dream. You're not sure. That happened. The astral body went there. But, we have sketches of it. So those are the 3 common states of consciousness. But there's a 4th called Turiya, which we chanted in the Rudrashtaka. Turiya is the 4th stage where this body, within which is the soul, actually merges with the Supreme. So that even when we awake, when there is any major decision to be made, when there is any major pronouncement to be made, because we have reached the stage of Turiya, we are one with God, that if whatever we say or do, if God were present, He would sanction it. That's a very high stage, and that could only happen by Bhagwan Shiva, which is, as I say, is one example of the treasures of Ramayana, because that invocation came from the very Ramayana. So if we need to aspire to that stage, to less bungle in life, to less trip up, to make less mischoices and less missteps, We need to get to Bhagwan Shiva and help us to carry us to the stage of Turiya. We hear in the upcoming Doha.
यथा सुअंजन आंजिद्रिगा साधक सिद्ध सुजान पुरामा साधक सिद्ध सुजान कौतुक देख ही शैल बना भूतर भूरि निधान
Yatha Swanjana Anji Driga Sadhaka Siddha Sujan. There's a legend that sometimes the people who go after hunting, mining mineral, there's a special salve, a special eye preparation that they put in their eyes, which had certain incantations, and then they are be able to access where a little gold mine or copper mine might be. Tulsidas, she says, Guru's teachings is a salve, is that same salve. Sadhaka Siddha Sujan. That if we are on a spiritual journey, and even if we are without the spirituality, we are just on life's sojourn, then we'll be able to anchor, rivet life's sojourn on spirituality. By what? We could make that connect between God and man through Guru's teachings. Guru would have told you that in satsang, time and time again, this is the way to do it. Kautuka dekahi shailabana bhutala bhuri nidhan. And then it says those people those miners will stumble upon their product. Tulsidas says that, we don't have for what? Yes, we don't hear about 4 things for ourselves, 4 fruits of life: Arth, Dharam, Kam, and Moksha. Quickly, because I'm sure you're familiar with Arth. We don't have to get material gains. Material gains, have a good job, have a good income, have multiple jobs and a good income, and that will put us in a comfort zone. So instead of having them kind of old-time phone, we have a smartphone because we could afford it. Right? You hear? Good. So it's the Arth. Dharma is religious merit. Yes. As we say, we need to anchor on the real role model in the form of God. Then there's Kam. Kam in one context means lust. But we have to know context and grammar and know what to apply when. Kam also means realization of, Kam is ambition, realization of ambition. That you want to be a good teacher, you want to be a good tradesman, you want to be whatever, the best of it. That is one of the fruits of this existence, to master the things you like, you have a passion for. And there's moksha, which is liberation, which, as we touched on before, try and take out the self-imposed shackles. And that's the 4 fruits of life. That's us. But then, we're not here alone. No man is an island. What are we here? How do we relate to a community, nation, countries? How do we relate? Then, we get on the highway known as bhakti, which is devotion. Unconditional love for God. It expresses itself in 9 forms. In its highest form is bhakti, is to be a das, to be a servant of God. Meaning, wherever a word, an example can be set, that is unchangeable from the texts, and we can help someone, inspire someone, prop them up, that is being a das, a servant of God. Best example, Sri Hanuman. Follow Sri Hanuman life, you'll understand what is a das, or who is a das. But there are other things within our easy reach. There is Parasevanam, like where of the 9 forms of devotion to God, where we gather here. Some might have brought this, some might have brought that. Some might have brought the talent. We bring things together so that God's word could be expounded. That's a form of worship. And the one that is within our easy reach is Archanam, where you get up, you offer a flower to God, you offer a prayer to God, you'll wave a little agarbatti, You physically do it, because when you physically do it, the devatas who sit on the limbs and so forth, on the mouth and the ears and so forth, they have the pleasure of joining with you in prayer, as opposed to just sitting down without offering anything and running a mantra. Then if you didn't walk with these feet to pick a flower, Vishnu Bhagwan, the sustainer, didn't get a chance to join in worship. If you didn't take the hands to pluck the flower, then Indra Dev, the Lord of Sisal, didn't get a chance to perform the worship. If we didn't recite the mantra, we didn't, mansik, be muttering within the mind, then Saraswati Mata and Atri Muni and Varun Devata, all those three didn't get a chance to participate in puja. So the performance of puja is the actual physical doing of puja, because there we invite the devatas to participate. And if they are our guests at the beginning of the day, no need to tell you what great guidance and benefit we'll reap from that practice. We here in Chaupai. I've done, I've taken extracts from each chapter, the 7 chapters on Ramayana, pointing to the greatness of Guru, so that we'll have a kind of broad base now. Sarangavara dhara so with Ayodhya Khan. Tanu pulaki nayana bharivari bole bharatadi viradhari bhari viradhari bhari Prabhu priya puja pita sama apu Kulla Guru Samahita Mayana Bapu Mayana Bapu When Bharat went with his party, including his Guru Vasishta, to meet Sri Ram, to woo Sri Ram, that this voluntary exile of yours is paining me. I want you to come back to Ayodhya. And he gave him 3 options, one of which, let me go into the forest and replace you. That is a deep concern from brother to brother, from sibling to sibling. And Guru teaches that, listen, we ain't going to have agreement on everything, husband and wife, brother and sister and sister, cousin and cousin. We ain't going to have agreement on anything, but be civil about it. You can't be passing and like Sitaram himself. You might not going to hug up and embrace them. Tulsidas is saying that. People who have a different view, who you think might be detrimental. But you could be civil, man. Hello, how you going? You sit in satsang for how much years? And you let that happen? That is not what Gurus teach. So, Bharat went. When he reached there, he saw his father-in-law, Janak, there too, with his party, all in an effort to woo Shri Ram Chandraji back. And Tulsidas, he says, Suni tanu pulaki nayan bharibari. All the hairs on Bharat hands stood on end. His eyes were filled with tears. He was overcome with emotion. Bole Bharat, dhir dhari bhari. But Bharat, and learn, we have to learn, Bharat stabilized himself. He said, emotion can't come in this conversation where I'm going to make a request of you to come. So he got hold of himself. So the lesson is, don't get emotional about things, man. If you get emotional, bite your lip, take a 5, count to 10, and then come back in the katana, man. And then having done that, what he says, Prabhu Priya Puj, he looked at Sri Ram. He says, you are God, Prabhu. Puj, you are worthy of adoration. He turned so. Pita sama apu, he turned to Janak, his father-in-law. Remember, Dashrath had already passed on. So your father-in-law does come like your father, no? Although, when you really watch at it, father-in-law and son-in-law, daughter and mother-in-law live like a Mahabharata war, for whatever reason. But then you can't be offend God, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and you're living like that. Because we are hearing here. Who was Bharat? He was Vishnu incarnate. The incarnation of sustainer, and he is telling you, he sustains us how to live, how to behave, how to acknowledge. So he turned, and Janak matched it. Janak never had an abusive word to any of his sons-in-law. That is how a father-in-law should be. And so he turned to Janak, he says, Pita sama apu, in the absence of my father, you come like a father to me. And then what did he say? So you had God, and you had your father. What did he say? Kula guru samahita mayana bapu. He says, well, you see, my guru, Kula guru, Vasishtha, I ain't debunking all you. But where a guru's status is above father and mother. And we have to take it down and understand about christening. What we just call, when they give Guru Diksha, about christening. Shastras say, by the time the child reaches 16 years, you should christen. But when you watch a clause lower down the Shastric law, it says, but it can be overridden if that child yet didn't find somebody who they could have total respect for. And more than that, apart from respect, must be a reservoir of knowledge. You can't go to your guru and ask him something. The guru might be an engineer, and you ask him something about accounting. Well, a good guru may not have the total knowledge, but he will be able to access that. You go call Rudy and say, Rudy, you think calling me about messing me up with the tax? You know, you get opinions from, a guru get opinions from good sources. That is the guru you want, who could access creditable information and who, on his own volition, for sure will give you spiritual enlightenment and other things too. So, if, let me say, the child reaches 16, that's fine. But you have a provision in Sanatana Dharma. You're supposed to have puja going on with a degree of frequency. Enter Pandit, who you will call in that capacity, a Purohit comes to your home. So he not only comes to Puke Sang and Bajawe Ghanta and put up flag, he comes also to teach you while you're doing puja. So the children have to be sitting in the presence there, so they begin to learn a bit. You know, they know how to come down when time for prasad and time for food. You know, Baba, he went out late last night. I didn't tell he go O2 Park, they call it. I didn't tell he go there, you know, have to puja tomorrow. I mean, you have to Surhavi, you have to come to puja too. So parents have a role to play. You could go where you want, but when you have Baba come, the Pandit come tomorrow, you sit down close by now, you go hear a little mantra self, you know, and you go benefit from that. So from even before 16 years, the child is supposed to be exposed to that environment. Then when they reach teenager, that is a strange age. Because, we want to christen. But fast forward. If when the child reaches 21, 22, 23 wrong there, well, he or she have a little income because of what they could do, the skill set. Then come Dolahin time if it's a boy, or Dolaha time is a girl. And a chela must be able to put it to the Guru, I have an interest in this person. And if Guru say no is no, it's whether you're prepared to take that answer. That is our next kata. So don't go on christen. When Guru, you're picking and choosing what Guru have to say. You think Guru going to say yes or no out of spite and hate and malice? No. Guru run check Ganana and see this can't work. Or it could work 50-50, but you have to follow the advice of Guru, how you could make it work. It is not a cakewalk, but it could be done. But you know, we want to forget what Guru say, and we get into that. Or we don't want to take what Guru say, and say, I may go far, but you don't want to listen to what he's saying. So the process of taking a Guru, as Bharat shows here, that my mother and father could make trusted decisions, because Sunaina was there too, like his mother-in-law was like his mother. He says, well, when it comes to crunch time, the final decision is in my Guru's hand. When you reach that stage, that you know deep down your Guru will not contravene the moral, the only principles that your parents instill, the core values that they instill in you. A Guru wouldn't contravene that. But whereas a parent might make an emotional decision, a Guru will make a clinical one for our benefit. When we reach that stage, then we reach Bharat stage, the ideal Chela, then we could talk about Guru. Other than that, you go along for the ride now till it happens. We hear further in Chopai.
Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama.
उशर पर सही तृण नहीं जामा, संत हृदय जस उपज कामा। जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम,
Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama.
सरेता सर निर्मल जल सोहा, संत हृदय जस मत मोहा।
Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama, Jai 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 Shri Rama.
I skipped Aranyakan because I'm going to conclude in Aranyakan. I've gone to Kiskindhakan now. Sri Ram was sitting along with Lakshman, Pravarshan Katha. And he says, well, all the time we talk about Guru and Chela. Let me talk about the Guru now. Sanatana Dharma is democracy, It's not my way or the highway, The Chela have rights too. And a text called Mantra Maharnava tells you that if your Guru transgress, if your Guru in a marriage institution and flirting on the outside, you have the authority to fire that Guru and rechristen. When you get a suitable person, we're just frightened to say that. Because that is rocking the boat. But I quote in Mantra Maharnava. You can't ask me to accept a godfather telling me how to live as husband and wife and he on the outside. That can't happen. That and the sun rising in the west can't happen. Ramchandra acknowledges that. And he says, no, that don't happen. So let me talk about the Chela's rights now. In a Guru, Ushara Barasa Itrin Nahi Jama. Just as in a desert, plants can't take root. You're going to see greenery, wrong oasis, where it have water. But the majority of the desert is parched and dried. Plants wouldn't grow there. So too, a Guru heart must be like a desert. That a certain quality must grow. Santa Hriday Jasa Upajana Kama. That calm or lust cannot take root in a Guru's heart. A Guru have to know how to behave. A Guru have to understand, and it must come natural, no put on, that every female he meets, if it's of his age or similar, that's a sister. Deed, how you going? If it's Ola, Ma, how you going? And if it's a daughter, Putri or Beti, how you going? That must fall into place, automatic pilot. Just like how the gears in a car has changed, so too automatic pilot, no put on, no force. That must be within the ambit of a Guru, naturally. So how then you have room for that lust? So that is what you look for when you go into Christian. Make sure your Guru ain't like that. Then, two other qualities. Sarita Saranil Maljala Soha Santa Hriday Jasa Gatmad Moha. Looking down, it was the rainy season when Sri Ram, he used references of the rainy season. And when he looked down, he saw the cool, clear, limpid waters of the rivers running by. Rain had just fallen, all the mud gone. He says, so too, pure as that water is, that is drinkable, so too we can drink at the feet of a Guru, provided that means without. Mud is hot. The I and I and I. And moha is ignorance. A Guru must not have too much of I. I did do a 990 day, and I have a resume, I just read so, I read so much time. Leave that out now. People want to know what you do and what you do. So once you see that appearing in a prospective Guru, that is a thing for a step back. You don't want that, because the next thing, he will give you instructions that suit who? He or you or he? I like it so. I like blues, Charhavi and Dakshina. I like no brown. You reach that stage too, boy. And trust me, Religion is the biggest business. Courts and the 1% they have business big, like how men of the cloth just operate. So we have to be mindful of these things. No set of mud and mud in an equation. And then moha, as you say, is ignorance. You know the madar flower? That is, you want to have a little milky extract, lilac in case. People just tell you that is propitious for Bhagwan Shiva. That is true. By quoting a mantra now, is not only Bhagwan Shiva. When they offer a flower to the devis, they say, Om Mandara Pari Jatari, stop. They name the kind of flowers that are particularly liked by devis. What is the first one? Mandar. Mandar and Madar, what we talk about, is the same flower. So that is propitious for Devi worship too. So you want a guru who can enlighten you. How many, over 100 years now, Baba has graced these compounds, and the things that he have declared and said, we still abide by, and it still protects us. That is the power of a guru. We hear further in Chaupai.
Jai Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Shankar Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram
Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jaya Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jai Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Shankar Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram
जानो मैं तुम्हारी प्रभुताई
Jai Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jai Ram
सहस बाहु सन परि लगाई
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jai Ram
समर वाली सन करी दश पावा सुत पीवचन हसी बहरा
Jai Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jai Ram Shri Ram
How could we talk about Sundarkand and don't talk about Hanuman Baba? Hanuman Chalisa, Shri what? Shri what? Shri Guru Charana Sarojaraja. Don't think that Tulsidas was writing Hanuman Chalisa, and in that Chalisa, give praises to his guru, which is Narasimha. That too. But he says, remember when Tulsidas wrote Ramayana, when he fell asleep, when he was in doubt, the dawn of Sri Hanuman will come there and make the necessary adjustments of the case. So Tulsidas says, I bow to my Guru Narasimha and I bow to my Guru Hanuman. Hanuman, how you could aspire to respect a Guru if Hanuman didn't make an input in a life? So here was Hanuman tell Ravan, the mighty Ravan, who God had to come as Ram to destroy. Hanuman man up to him and tell him, Jano mai tumhari prabhutai, you Ravan, talking about what you do and who you conquer and your prowess and your power. I have a question to ask you. Sahasabahu sana parilarai. I hear you and Sahasrabahu get in a battle. And what had happened there, sometimes you ask a question tongue in cheek. You know the answer by asking. So Hanuman, Ravan talking about his pride. And tongue in cheek, Hanuman say, what happened to you and Sahasrabahu? You see, Sahasrabahu, Sahasra means 1,000. And Bahu means hand. Now if I see a fellow with 1,000 hands, he going so and I going so. It's metaphors. Sahasrabahu had the power of 1,000 arms in two. Like how my boys Sanjo and Rolly does be bench pressing and thing. Them feel strong. So, they could probably live something we can't live. So Sahasrabahu was a gym buff now. He had 1,000 power of 1,000 hands in two. And Ravan went tantalizing him. And he put Ravan under captivity. So don't feel Ravan is the boss of everything. Sahasrabahu. And the next line tell you, some of the Bali too that have Ravan in that captivity. I would not go down there all in not in satsang. Let me go to Sahasrabahu. So Sahasrabahu had Ravan in captivity. Ravan was a great devotee up to that, a little before that, of Bhagwan Shiva. He did puja to Bhagwan Shiva intensely, which we can't even imagine. And so he got boons. And having got, the power corrupts, as we have often said. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that would twist Ravan's head, what he could do and what he couldn't do. So in captivity with Sahasrabahu, at that point in time, Parshuram, the 16th incarnation, Vyas was the 17th, Parshuram was the 16th. The 16th incarnation of God Parshuram was about to finish his studies by his Vidya Guru, who was Bhagwan Shiva. And I mean Bhagwan Shiva, emphasized and taught him the weapons that are available and how to use them. So Parshuram turned around to Guru, his Vidya Guru, Shiva Babi says, what I could give you as Guru Dakshina? How can I repay you? And Shiva said, go away now. And he keep insisting. He said, all right, one of my devotees, Ravan, in a little trouble there with Sahasrabahu, go and release him now. So Parshuram joyfully went, and as he entered, he didn't have to ask Sahasrabahu anything. Sahasrabahu knew who was in front of him. If you read Parshuram history, you go, no why. And so he said, what can I do for you? Agya Gurudev. Sahasrabahu would tell, instruct me. He said, well, let's boy, go now. So Ravan was released. Take note that when gurus get into the picture, the only negativity which is like Ravan and so forth, they could manage Ravan and tend like Ravan when Guru's grace is upon you. And Parshuram, who was Parshuram's Guru? Vishwamitra. We say Om Shri Kashyap Atri Vashish. You say that? And who was Vishwamitra Guru inside of himself? Jamdagni. So when we take these names, these Saptarishi, this is where it go in. This is where we invite in the blessings of Guru. That when the Ravan in the community, the bandit, etc., confront us, they don't back us into a corner. We have what it takes to stand up and make a difference and don't crumble. And Hanuman points the way in this conversation. Then we went to Lanka Khan. Kala dand gahi kahuna mara hare dharma bala buddhi vichara. Sometimes in the quest for a guru, there are other sources we can learn from. A Vidya Guru, like your Purohit come to your home, from parents, from respected elders. We could learn from all them. And sometimes husband and wives, listen good, Sometimes you could learn from your husband too. and a husband could learn from his wife too. Somehow, the wires got crossed in Sanatana Dharma, and is in a Hindu home, is the Pandit's, the husband's word, is his way or no way. It operates so. Mighty Ravan went at time of evening time to retire. Mandodari was there. And Mandodari tell him, take my sage advice. If you say marriage is a democracy and I have a right to say, I am saying now in gentle tones that you're inviting death. And she went on to, by confronting Ram, she went on to tell him. And when he wasn't listening, he was scoffing and laughing. She says, what happened? The god of death, Kal, he carries as his weapon a staff, a piece of 2x4 now. So Mandori says, how Kal does kill you? He hit you with it, and bust your head. He just take away 4 things from you. He just take away dharma. So from it, dharma has 4 pillars. Sat, which is truth. Shaut, which is cleanliness. Daya, which is compassion. And Dan, which is to be charitable as one can afford to. Time doesn't allow us to get into the ramifications of this, but you have sat in satsang. You know what we're talking about. So when any of these one or more falter, then you're inviting death. Bal, anytime a challenge take you and you say, oh God, who your head in a crying, me able to do this, then you invite in death. Because you're supposed to have, you're endowed with the qualities that's supposed to take care of that. So that is that is you're inviting death in your life. Buddhi, you have a knowledge base, you know how things operate, you know how systems move. Don't let the system back into a corner. No, you know how to worm your way around the system. And if you get into a position to change the system, you change it. If you can't, it's not going along with the system. You beat the system. You're not going along with it, so you get in a worm in a way. That is Buddhi. Then, you can have death. And this death don't mean physical death. Sometimes you back yourself into a corner and everything is negativity, negativity, negativity. And then the 4th quality that is take away from you, that you're allowed to leave, is vichar. Don't make too much impromptu responses. Think carefully before we speak, because sometimes we make an impromptu response. Later on, we mull in it, we realize that was a wrong response. But to defend, what we say, we stand up for the wrong thing. No, vichar. Think before we make a pronouncement. When these 4 things are allowed to slip, then death steps in. It's not the God of death will step in. We have allowed our own demise and death. Ramayana is a book of definitions. One can never underestimate the power of Guru. And Tulsidas Ji had this to say about Guru. It came from the mouth of Shri Ram. Guru Shishya Badhika Andha Karalekha Sitaram Ek na sunahu Ek nahi dekha Harai Shishya Dhana Shokana Harai So Guru Ghora Naraka Mahuparai
Jai Jai Sitaram Radhesham Rajaram Kaise zindagi jeete Jai Jai Sitaram Radhesham Rajaram
Guru Shashabadhika Andha Karalekha Ek na sunahi ek nahi dekha Harai Shesha Dhana Shokana Harai So Guru Ghora Naraka Mahuparai
Shabadika Andakarelekha. This age is a unique age, Kali Yuga, because the Guru blind and the Chela deaf. Metaphorically speaking. The Guru blind because he starts with Tomeva Mata, Chapita Tomeva, and you're dead and he still gives you the same prayer. Nothing evolved in that. So here reading, here turn in pages to lift the Chela. That's a blind Guru. And even selfie doing that, the Chela deaf. Boy, you go do so and so now. Boy, look, you sit in satsang, you hear so and so, but the Chela ain't listening. So, Tulsidas, he says, forget the Chela. If the Guru are making efforts to remove the darkness of ignorance from the Chela and only looking to milk now, you know, you see Baba with a roll on, roll off. 2 years after you have a Lexus. Nothing wrong with that, you know. But also make sure when you have a Lexus, the Chela have a BMW. Don't only raise yourself, raise the status of the Chela. A Chela, a Guru who like that, fleece in the judgment, it have a special hell destined for such a Guru. We move to Uttarakhand before we reach our final Doha. Chapter of Ramayana before we reach our final Doha, which I shall return to Aranyakand. Sri Ram says that in one instance, Kargji says, in one instance before, now Guru Sri Ram says that this body is a raft. It's like a yacht. And a yacht needs wind because a yacht don't have an engine, it's operated with sail. We're talking about the olden references. So if there is wind, then the yacht will move from point A to point B. But it could go helter-skelter. You need a captain to guide and to steer that yacht to its destination. So this is a yacht. Sri Ram says, Sanmukham Maruta Anugrah Mero. The wind, I am like the wind, God says, that I will provide the energy to move. Notice the word Maruta. Sanmukham Maruta. Notice that. Watch that word Maruta. So, like class talk going on, don't worry to me. So you have the yacht, you have the wind, but you want a captain. Karanadara Sadguru Dhrinawa, the captain is the Guru. So whether it take a year, 16 years, 17 years, 20 years, at some point in time, this yacht have to reach its destination. When this yacht leaves San Fernando Wharf or powerboats, until it reaches back to its where it is moored, then it is lost. So we want this yacht to reach its maker. And if the Guru will help us to do that, to reach its maker, to realize and separate what is the body and what is the soul. And in the soul, of the 17 faculties that represent the soul, is Suksham Sharir, there's the Mati, there's the intellect. That which you have learned in life, we have strayed. But with Guru's grace, we'll have the Mati, the intellect, to return home to our Maker. We here in our final Doha.
Guru par pankaja seva Isari bhakti aman Chauti bhakti mama gunagana
This is taken from Serikatha, which shows or illustrates the 9 steps to devotion, the same devotion we spoke about earlier. The third step, says Shri Ram, this is God talking, Guru Parapankaja Seva Tisari Bhakti Aman, that one must have Aman, Man Rahit. When we have a Guru, when we have adopted or taken a Guru, there must not be any pride in it. Well, you see, I have my PhD, you know, and he didn't see secondary school. So I know how much he could teach me, but my mother and father tell me it's good to have a guru. But it's along the and tell me it's good to have a guru. So I have a guru. Do Christian. Bhaya begging you, do Christian. Aman. That when you put this person in a revered position after critical examination, until there is critical examination and you don't have a product, stay single, stay so. Now mind you, you cook this to say, it's about dead babs. If it is your business. Because somewhere along the line, there's going to be a person, that's a given, that's a granted, that's a no-brainer, who will be able to christen you. Who could point you and teach you. So those say, but in the process, in the interim, look at it. Look at it, that when I adopt this person or anoint this person as my guru, Aman, there's no pride entering me. I will, it will be virtually to the point where I blindly follow him. You don't have to do that. There are questions you'll ask your guru. You want rationale. It's not guru, Baba, I didn't build this, but I want it to sit on good in my mind so I could help others. That is in fair. That is good quality. That is fair play. But it must be Aman. There can't be pride in it. So, my Baba used to tell me it have 4 kind of chela. It have 4 kind of disciples when you're Christian. It have aeroplane fuel chela. Cal Airlines. They say aeroplane fuel, if you light a match here and it's within proximity, it could catch. So you have the chelas, you only have to touch on it. You say, well, we're doing archmonium. Them don't know what you're doing already because they sit 1 or 2 times with you. So that aeroplane fuel chela. That's the best kind of chela. That's the kind of chela when I go up by 45 minutes to blow away, puja, like nothing. They have everything ready and they know what to do. They could actually anticipate you. But you don't be like spinning the same thing. Don't go and tell them in that 45 minutes they're sitting over and over, Always enlighten them. So that is aeroplane fuel chela. Then I have Kapoor chela, camphor chela. When you had a light camphor, you had to carry the match, not in proximity, you had to carry the catch and touch the camphor. You know that kind of chela too. That, Baba, where you say today is Guru Purnima, who again that was named after? So you go down, your boy, remember in the Katha, God was the 17th incarnation and so on, so you go down that. So you go understand, But poor fellow, poor girl, they need a little, thing. But if you say, what's Beyonce, last song they could tell you, But nah, you have to give them, okay, we accept that. Camphor chela. Then I have coals chela. You ever boil corn with coals, boy? That are fun and fun and fun. Baba, I have this matter. Baba give you a mantra. Door, you go be right. Baba, it ain't going right. Baba go on, give our next mantra. And Baba, it ain't happening. Things getting worse. They are like cold. They understand they're good heart, But the mindset wrong, na man. You have to fun and catch. Well, even that kind of chela we go work with. But then they have plantain stem chela. You ever try to light plantain stem that make buka, make heap of fiber, that can't happen at all. You don't want that kind of chela. They go run you to the ground and they go learn nothing. See which brand of chela we want to be. And if we select, hopefully, the top brand, then Baba's teachings will all crystallize and come to pass. Ek baar bolo si Guru Maharaj ki. I promised you lunch at 12. You're getting a lunch at 12. It was nice to share with you. I was particularly pleased because it says he was the guru of my parents, my Aja, my Vidya Guru, and an entire generation. And when you walk in these compounds here, you feel a difference. The man has gone, that guru has gone so many years now, and his Shakti is still here. And all those who attend this mandir from time to time tell you the same thing without provoking a comment. They tell you the same thing. Such is the greatness of a guru. It is my honor and pleasure, and your honor and pleasure to join in the celebration. So, we make a concluding prayer. Om Raksha Raksha Mahadeva, Raksha Raksha Janardhanam, Rakshantu Devata Sarve, Brahma Vishnu Maheshwaram. Om Tumeva Mata Chapita Tumeva, Tumeva Bandhus Chasakha Tumeva, Tumeva Vidya Dravinam Tumeva, Tumeva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bolo Shri Gajanan Swami Ki Jai. Bolo Shri Saraswati Mata Ki Jai. Bolo Shri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Umapati Mahadev Ki Jai. Pavanaputra Hanuman Ki Jai. Vrindavan Vihari Lal Ki Jai. Siyaur Ramachand Ki. Before we disperse for lunch is being served, I want to thank you, Rudy, Pandit Rudranan Maharaj, who organized, I think it was volunteered, the students sponsored the streaming. My gratitude to all of you and all those who did whatever you could to put this together. God's blessings to you. I have a pamphlet given here to me. Is it for distribution or one of Baba's chelas? I crave your indulgence for, I'm a fast reader, 1.5 minutes. One of Baba's chelas, who was instrumental in bringing down the Murti. This was made in India. A picture was sent, and they made the Murti, and this is what is coming today. Pandit Basiv Misra, the first Dharmacharya, which is of Trinidad and Tobago, was the foremost exponent of the treasures enshrined in the Hindu scriptures. He was among the first set of immigrants from India to this land. Trinidad and Tobago has been sanctified and blessed by the presence of this great giant and colossus in Hindu theology. He was the guru of the late Bharis Sagan Maharaj and many others, including Pandit Sivsankar Sivnarayan and other Pandits. He taught many Pandits in this country. He conducted thousands of yagyas throughout Trinidad. His Bhagavad yagyas were very enlightening, and he had a unique method of presenting these scriptures in Sanskrit and Hindi so simply and yet so profound that all were able to drink deeply from his fountain of wisdom. I interject a part here. From good sources, they bear testimony that Baba was incomparable in Bhagavad Puran. His style was inimitable. He was profound and yet so simple. He was by far the most humble exponent of the scriptures in this country that this country has ever seen. He came with this wealth of knowledge from India and brought with him several authentic texts in the scripture. He imparted the treasured knowledge of the scriptures and a method of communication to the Pandits of his time. He was the first Pandit to transmit his learning by means of a battery-driven microphone, which was very pleasant and charming. He had no greed, as he freely distributed whatever was offered to him, to the sadhus and to the poor. He had a lovable and charming personality, and he hailed the Lord always as Hare Namo Nama, meaning I hail the Lord in absolute humility. He lived in Mount Lambert, that's here, near St. Joseph, where he had his monastery to which many devotees regularly came and offered their prayers. Towards the end of his life, he returned to India to spend his last days, but unfortunately for him, he was robbed of his belongings. Unfortunately for us, he returned to Trinidad, where he gave up his mortal body and his disciples were privileged to cremate their beloved Guru on the banks of the Karani, which became sanctified by his spirituality, and the ocean was purified by his ashes. We give our grateful thanks to all those who provided information on the life and teachings of this icon, which is being disseminated throughout the world, setting the stage for others to emulate this renowned spiritual giant. Bole Sri Guru Maharaj ki. So you are invited for lunch. We have a bhajan going on.
Shine.